19 days ago, I start a challenge. I want to see if it's actually possible to double your account power from 20 million to 40 million in just 3 months. And today I'm going to show you exactly what happened, the good decision, the mistakes, and the moments my castle got attacked and I lose a massive amount of troops. So if you want to know whether doubling your power is something actually realistic, hit the like button and subscribe, and let's break it down. So here's what we're going to do in this video. First, I will show you where the account started and where it's actually right now after 19 days. Then we will talk about what actually worked during this challenge, the things that boosted my growth the most. After that, we'll look over what went wrong, including the castle attack, which cost me a lot of troops. And finally, I'll answer the big question: is doubling your power in 3 months possible or just a fantasy challenge? So first thing first is I'm going to show you where my account actually started and how far we are in this whole picture. Now I start with 20 million, as I already mentioned. Right now is day 19 and we're having like 24 million. I was like 20 something million power, not like 20,000 million power. So I get just a little more, which, you know, is just something as a help. But right now we're 24, we're VIP 9, which help us in the production. We're having some building speed ups, healing, and etc. The thing that slowed me down is actually that my buildings is level 31. I want to point out this thing, and each next level, each next upgrade is actually asking me for these keys that I have like 58. The good thing is right now we're having the mightiest governor, so I'm able to collect more of these keys. So I'm going to support and continue progressing with the buildings, but there is a limitation over the buildings just because of that, just because it's needing some keys. I can still, you know, getting for example the mill, level it up, and maybe some other buildings that can boost some extra the power of my castle, but the main buildings are already built, which, you know, make the things little more hard. I can actually upgrade the marker. It's going to be just 5 days. I'm just going to ask my alliance. So from point of buildings, I still have some buildings that I can build, but, you know, they're not crucial buildings. Like, for example, embassy, by the way, can actually get built. Right now is level 30, so it's going to be I need like 80 of these keys. I have like 58, so I have a stopper right here. I have a stopper right here, and yeah, I have I'm building some troops on top total. Now, what actually worked during this challenge and what actually boosts my growth is, first of all, a lot of events that we're having. We're getting so many stuffs, like, you know, these things, getting more imperial coins, even more to whistles and stuff like this. But in Age of Empire Mobile, the good thing or the interesting thing is you're having so many events. You're having so many events that you can get so many resources. Look at this thing. This like 3 million resources, 3 hour speed ups, 3 hour of building and research speed ups. Absolutely crazy, which, you know, is helping you to finish more faster your buildings. Now again, I'm limited from the keys, but there is some buildings, like for example right now I'm upgrading the wall to the next level. After this I can start upgrading the war hall and etc. There is still buildings, but this is not the buildings that is giving a lot of power, but still there is a buildings that boost my power. On top of that, from point of researches, Right now we're even going to finish one of the researches, which is Cavalry Health 2. Just going to use some of these speed ups, and I'm going to start the next one. I've start focusing over just the cavalry because I'm going to build one legion, one very solid, very strong legion, and I'm boosting all the percentage all the percentage that this specific troop I want to get from the anniversary, so I make my legion even more solid. So from point of growth, and what went well is just buildings and the researches. Now other thing is I make a separate video about the gathering, but with the gathering I managed to get a lot of resources. I teleport here where I'm next to a place with level 7 gathering spots, which is like 5 million resources. Here I have like ore or quarry that's having like 5 million. It's next to this type of buildings. Just want to mention City of Challenge right now is here, but yeah, I built my legions to get more gathering power. And if I go and march now, Dear Chant is having gathering bonus 213. The other legion I have with gathering is this one, Leo, with 114. So, and this one that is having how many? It's having 89. So I built like two extra legions for gathering, and I fixed one of the main legions because everybody know that Diu Chan is a hero that is the best hero for gathering. So if I don't actually invest and make this hero strong, I'm not going to have good gathering results. So this is what actually boosts my growth the most and actually work through this challenge, because I'm going to need resources, and with these attacks that I get, and speaking about the attacks, now I'm going to talk about and we're going to look at what went wrong, including the castle attack that cost me a lot of troops. Now right now we're having this golden expedition and yeah, I have a lot of loss here. I have like senior archers 16, 17. Now for some players this is going to be absolutely nothing, but for me it's actually a lot. For me it's actually a lot. I recover some of the troops, but knowing that I don't have that many, how to say it, I don't have that many potential to boost my power in form of buildings. I have to count on troops, and if they non-stop kill my troops, we're going to have an issue hitting the target of 40 million in 3 months. So I try to use my shields. By the way, I was having some shields. Where is the shields? Yeah, I was having like 30. I use my 8-hour shields, but 8 hours is not enough. We should have like 1 day shield. I mean, like a lot of time shields. So for people who is just rebuilding my my base to have something like a safe spot, because I cannot see a safe spot. And here's the thing, I'm not alone. Yeah, my account is in server or Kingdom 12, which is, you know, one of the oldest servers, but at the same time there is a people who can easily get attacked, having way more power from me and get zeroed. So we have to think about something in this direction, having shields that is just more time. Still, I catch the event and I use my shields, but sometimes I get attacked. So here I'm going to show you the attack I receive is actually from this bad boy that I have no idea what this mean, but this is my losses, this is my heroes, enemy heroes. It's basically saying, with this exception that he's having Timur, I'm having Attila, and my Attila is like 1 star, and his Wubu is 5-star. Zhao Yu is is also 5-star. We're basically, I think, having the same spells. Yeah, basically the same spells, both of us. But yeah, he also have the mythic gems, way better, way better, to be fair. And you can see it even from point of yes, basically close to same same things. But look at the difference. I mean, the buffs, the cavalry, my cavalry buff is like 300%, and his might, strategy, and blah 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 for his cavalry is like 576. So I still have a lot of work. I still have a lot of work over my legion and my garrison, but I get couple attacks. I mean, brother, it's even painful to watch that. So things like this can actually slow down my progress and actually, you know, put me behind in form of progression. But right now I'm actually waiting the right moment, or maybe just the right event, where I'm going to use my speed ups, because I have a lot of speed ups. I'm not gonna lie, I have so many. Look at this, 313 12-hour speed ups, this like 150 days, just here, just this one. So I have a lot of speed ups, so I'm confident that we may actually do something good. I don't have that many, to be fair, research speed ups, something that I really wanted to have. But still, I have a lot of training speed ups and a lot of building speed ups, and having some universal speed ups. So I'm confident that I can actually push decent how to say it, decent power, but I have to wait for the right event, so I can, you know, monetize this push that I'm working. So let's talk about, is this challenge is doable, or is just a fantasy challenge? I believe it's doable. Especially when I have some speed ups. Now I'm lacking resources right now. I try to not go farm, because I can get striked when I go farm, and you know, first of all, I'm not going to get the resources, and second, I'm going to get more deaths. So I'm trying to keep myself away from farming till the event actually finish. But yeah, this is so far the progression is like 24.3 million for 19 days. 3 months, yeah, it's possible. I'm always confident that something is possible, till it's not possible. Till it's like done, let's say it like this. So yeah, guys, if you go that far in this video, make sure you hit one like, also subscribe for more Age of Empire mobile content, and yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. Do you believe for 3 months you can double your power from 20 million to 40 million? And yeah, wish you a great day, and see you in the next video.